Namaste, Vitruvians. Welcome to yet another Vitruveo Spotlight. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Well, I know that both of us have been up all night, so
Yeah,
so we'll bring
yeah,
that energy, that hyper energy from not having slept for a while, and then we go crash. Uh,
yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
quite well. You guys had rain a few days ago. We
yeah.
we had a sunny day then, and then yesterday hail and torrential rain in the morning, and then in the afternoon, serene and beautiful. This weather is just crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's raining right now, actually. But I love it. I love the rain.
Well, the highlight
Um,
of my day yesterday was in the evening. I went to, I think it was a region-wide science fair from all high schools and middle schools and all that. It was a competition, I think. So my daughter was one of the ones selected. There were probably 300 projects or something there, maybe more. I swear, I only understood 1% of them. They they were so high tech and so futuristic. I didn't understand half the words, but I must say that we are in good hands with the youth of our future in terms of innovation and technology and science and all that. It was just incredible to see, and there was like I think a whole aisle of just AI. Like these kids with all
yeah,
kinds of AI stuff, and then Alzheimer's cures, cancer cures. Ah, it just boggled my mind. It was phenomenal, and I felt good. There were a few blockchain ones also there, so that I felt good about that. And yeah, so I think we have an action packed session here today. It always
hmm
starts off like I go like, "Hey, do we have any content?" And then by the time we're done, we have like 50 slides. So
yeah, exactly.
I am hyper because of the no sleep thing. So I need to calm down a bit. I'll have some chai and I'll calm down. Okay. All right. I think we can get going here. Let me add our deck. Okay, let's go. So, welcome everyone to Vitruveo Spotlight. This is season 7, episode 1 on March 14, 2025. I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, COO. And together, what we do is we bring you at the spotlight all the events of the last week and all the things that are noteworthy that are coming up. So, in today's spotlight, we'd like to start off, as always, with a protocol update. And I'll just tell you that I know that many people think that my protocol update is very, very boring and dry. And so, to liven it up today, I have a special guest for with us today, and that is Mr. Nelio Santos. How are you, sir?
Hi, Nick. Hi, Mike. How are you
Hey,
guys?
Nelio. Bom
First of
dia.
all, bon dia. I always say about that. Please, sorry about my bad English. Be patient with me, but I will try to do my best to communicate with you guys and with the community.
Absolutely. Nelio, had invited the app team on here a few weeks ago, and while they were talking, the comments were only, "But where's Nelio? What happened to Nelio? Where is Nelio? Why isn't Nelio here?" That was it, So I had to
Yeah,
reassure people that you're the leader. You work on the strategic stuff and on the infrastructure stuff, and not on the applications. So now
yeah.
people are aware of that, and we are always happy to have you here. So as I was saying, the protocol updates I gave are very boring, and I think we can use a more interesting update. So over to you, Nelio. Tell us what's going on with the protocol.
For sure. Well, Nikki, in the last weeks, we are working so hard in the protocol part, but not only in the protocol. We are going to talk about more other features we are implementing. But about the protocol, we finished at the rebase part, as you told for the community in the last weeks week. But we have two good and new features we are implementing. The first one, it's about the capability to get the random numbers directly from the protocol. And will help not only the gaming projects, but if you have a large number of transactions and you need to use that kind of feature, you have the benefit to use that directly on the protocol. And we have other important feature because the Vitruveo, different from any other blockchains, we are always thinking about the volume of transactions. And the volume of transactions make the gas fee goes higher, and we are trying to put it on way, limited way to cap that gas in a good way for the entire community. But as you know, Nikki, working the protocol is never easy because imagine that we need to first deliver and deploy all that things in the devnet, put a lot of computers doing transactions, and all that transactions need to be in a rush mode, in a different modes. And after that, we deliver and deploy all that things in the testnet, for in the end of that comes to the mainnet. And in the past, when we are doing that things, we put all that things live directly. But right now, we are using a nice way to deliver that because we have a lot of validators. Before, a year before, we not have this huge number of validators. But right now, we need to plan a way to deliver and deploy all that protocol to all validators and mark a block for start all that new features. And that is the most amazing part. Right now, all that new features comes in a specific block, and all the community knows exactly when a new feature enters live.
Awesome. That also gives validators time to update their nodes, etc. Because we know that the trigger for the new feature comes at a later date. So even though you haven't updated yet, you're fine. You can keep mining, and when the block hits, boom, that the feature gets activated. It's actually kind of nice because the community can then look forward to countdown. Okay, that block is coming, and boom, we switch to new features at that time. I love that. That's great.
Exactly. And not only that, Nikki, for the entire community knows right now in the test net, we have about 75 rebases have been done in the testnet. For sure, we use a low values for put more rebases in place, but we have 75 rebases done in the testnet. This is an amazing number because we have put a lot of transactions running per day and always going good. And in the next week, probably in the end of the next week, we put in the test net the random and the gas cap to run and for test. And after all that things it's running, we need to combine the block number for deploy that on the mainnet.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit of color to that, Nalio. The features you're talking about, they're actually a special feature of Go Ethereum called built-in contracts. So they are actually smart contracts, but they work at the protocol level versus being deployed. And we already have one of these deployed, and it gives you the current rebase multiplier. So if you want to build in rebasing into your application, like for example, Savo has it in their token, you can just consume that built-in smart contract and have it do interesting things. Maybe you got a game or something like that, and you want it to rebase also with the protocol. You can do that. So you're saying that by next week we'll be looking at these features in there. That's great. I want to ask a side question first before I go on to more questions. It's been bothering me. Is that a telescope? And what astronomy do you do?
Sorry, Nikki. You said
Sorry. Is that white thing behind you? Is that a telescope?
yes,
Okay.
yes. This is my telescope. It's a Newtonian telescope. I really like things like that, Nick. With that, I can observe Jupiter and Saturn. and
Mhm.
other planets. And in the last 2 weeks, we have a planetary alignment, and that's make me beautiful photos. And Nikki, talking about that, in the future, I will start my store on the Vitruveo network because I will put the photos from my telescope
Oh, wow.
on that too for the community because
I,
it's amazing. It's
I will go
amazing.
and collect them right away. Yeah, yeah. So Nelio, in addition to working on the protocol and the infrastructure and all that, you're also sort of a leader at JB Tech. So I would love to hear your perspective on how things are going there and what how you think about the productivity of the team and what they're building.
Yeah, Nikki, to be honest with you, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we are starting to deliver amazing new features. And one of them, it's not in production right now. And this is the most amazing, in my opinion, because for me, it's something I will consume. And because of that, I like that kind of feature. All the features we are working, it's always interesting, but at that it's useful for me. It's about the printing feature, but
Yes.
not only the printing feature is interesting, we have the store feature, and that makes for anyone possible to create not only a store but curate the arts, create their own store, and if you want, someone can buy or print something from your store, and that makes the entire ecosystem uh, giving a revenue share for all that ecosystem. That it's amazing. But again, for me, the printing feature is the most amazing part we are going to deliver because we are starting to use the art,
Yes.
and this make something totally different. As you see in my scenarios, I use a lot of 3D printing. I have CNC. I like do it yourself and all that kind of stuff. And when we are thinking about the art, most of the time it's something abstract because it's in the computer. But right now, you can have a muggy with your art. You can use a shirt with that art. This making not only a game changing, it's an entire new world of options for the artists, but especially for the consumers like me. Someone in the community um, uh, months ago make an avatar from me, and
Yes.
probably when the printing is working, I will create a mug with that avatar.
Nice.
Someone in the community have made, and I will printing the mug with that avatar.
That's great. So you're absolutely right about that, Nelio. I mean, when you think about it right now, we started off in 2021, 22 with with Web3 art, lots of artists coming on board because they saw the potential, and it was all about digital collectibles, about NFTs, right? But as time has passed, people started questioning, okay, what is the value proposition here? To a certain number of people, there is value to owning that art digitally, but you can't scale out. You can't scale to the general population like that, and we definitely need something like print in order to do
Yeah,
that. And I'm very proud that Vitruveo is the first chain and Exhibit is the first app to be coming out with
and
this feature.
what make this unique? Because it's not easy. If it's easy, someone have done that before than
Yeah.
us. This is so complex because you have to create a lot of partnership. You need to use a lot of APIs, have transactions of money. You need to synchronize with a lot of systems because we have Web3. All that transactions need to happen in the Web3, and the volume of that transactions it's higher. We always thinking about create solutions in a scalable way because for Vitruvio, I learned that in the airdrop project a year ago, if we start to thinking something small, you can be blocked by Twitter because you do a lot of requests
Yeah.
simultaneously, and it the power of the community make us always thinking about how to make that scalable. And more than that, we need to provide the entire systems running that live in a appropriate way, with speed. Because if we have a lot of time and we does not import with the speed of things, it's easy. Someone can take notes by their hands, ask from someone to print, and boom.
Yeah.
But this is not the reality of our world. It's totally a different scale of printing. And for me, Nikki, some of that some of that kind of feature, like printing, string, you always talk about string.
Yes.
uh, it's a game changing, because right now these features changing the way you consume all that assets, and this make this amazing.
Yeah, and Nelio, thanks to your team, they are amazing. They respond so fast, and I would agree with you. This sprint feature is extremely complex. It's definitely taking a lot of energy, a lot of creative innovation in order to solve some of the problems. You're a fellow geek, so like I'm dealing with masks and things like that, and alpha transparencies to make mock-ups and and do all of that in real time. But when the user has clicked, all those show up. They are rendered in real time within less than half a second. You know,
let, let,
it,
Let me give a tip for the community. All that alpha features for user transparency and apply that images has been done by Nikki, because this is so complex to do, and Nikki helped us a lot with code to how to do that, because it's not an easy mission, but you give us the capability to do that more easily, and we need to say thank you for you, Nikki, about that. But I would like to use a small time of your season, of that session, to say thanks for some persons in our team, because that guys is working so hard. Because of that, I would like to say thank you for Taina for help us in the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff to put that projects like store, exhibit, and studio, and all that running. I need to say thanks for Matthews, because this is conducting the as a leader, technical leader inside of our company, and that guy makes that things brings to the life. Nikki is the mentoring, create the request, uh, put all the behaviors and all that things. I help using all the technical perspective and architect about that. But Matthews make that happens live. Matthews, Luan, Marcus, guys, right now I'm here representing all of you working on this last feature. I'm not talking about the entire team, okay? Because have Norbert and a lot of more persons involved to make all that things happen. But I'm here representing all that guys, and I would say right now we are working in two front lines. One is the protocol, and we are working so hard to get new features, to get the more stable and make the things happen in a more cheaper way. Because if all the things happens cheaper, this help to put more people in that ecosystem. And the second is the team to work in the software part. That team is working to deliver new features and brings to the studio exhibit and all that other stuff, that new features. And Nikki, you are a visionary guy. I don't know if the properly words is visionary, but in Brazil we have that word. It's someone who looks in the future, and the print, it's a game changing for me and for my team. we are starting when the printing comes up. We are the first persons to buy a mug with that art, because for us it's like a trophy. It's trophy. The name, when someone wins something,
Trophy.
gain
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
trophy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
All
like
right.
a trophy. A mug for us with art and printing on that, it's like a trophy for us.
That's great. Well, Nelio, as always, it's a joy to have you here. We love talking to you. You're welcome anytime. And thanks for all your hard work. And maybe we can come back once we've got the protocol going, yeah, and talk about it. So thank you. Thank you
Perfect.
very much. And
Thank you.
have a great weekend. We'll see you around. All right.
Okay. Bye bye, guys.
All right. Let's continue with our session here. And now we're going to talk a little bit about some housekeeping things, and then I should have Mike come back here at some point. So first thing is there's a lot of pending giveaways. Not a lot, a bit. We've cut down the list quite a bit, but I just want everyone to know that we are working on mission critical, very date specific tasks at the moment. So all pending giveaways and things related to it are going to take a backseat until April. So just so everyone knows, um, really, if you think about it, a lot of the giveaways of tokens, etc., are pointless if we can't deliver the value to make those tokens more valuable for you, right? So our focus is on these mission critical things. There's only so many hours in the day, and we've got to focus on shipping things right now because, as you will see later in this session, we've got some events planned. Uh, Along with that, this is something Mike and I have talked about quite a bit. Every Thursday, it begins and it goes on into midday Friday, where we just spend all of our time planning the spotlight update. It takes up quite a bit of time to make this deck, to get all the content together. The actual deck is not such a big deal, but getting the content together for it is a big deal. So what we're going to do moving forward is change our spotlight model a little bit. What we're going to do is go to a bi-weekly mode here, where we will have the spotlight on the first and third Friday of each month, because it pretty much is, one less day a week for us if you aggregate the hours it takes to prepare for the spotlight. And the other thing is, what we want to do is we want to report meaningful things to you. So it's better for us to take a longer time and say, okay, here, this feature is done versus this feature is coming next week. So it allows us more time to focus on business activities. Mike, I would like to hear you on this change also, please.
Yeah, we're getting to the stage where we're actually working on MVPs. So the MVPs take a little bit more time to build out, and it's getting more and more difficult to focus with trying to deliver updates in 7 days, at the stage. So we felt that, I brought this up to Nick probably a month ago, that eventually we're going to have to start shifting our spotlights and our AMAs to maybe a biweekly or once a month. And we felt that every 2 weeks would probably be a good fit, maybe the first and the 15th. That way we can give something substantial, because the problem is that because we're building in the open and we're in development, the problem is that we feel compelled to deliver something, but it seems like we're always talking about what we're going to do. And I would rather actually deliver something and say, hey guys, here's what's here, rather than, here's what's coming, 6 months from now. So I think the community will appreciate, that win where, when we do an AMA, we actually have something to show you guys. And I think it'll be a lot more exciting than, just hey guys, here's what's next. So that was the thought process behind it.
I will be glad to have some of my Fridays back to be productive, not for leisure. Just focus on getting stuff done. So I think this is a good change. And also, we need to, as we are now getting close to the point where we are almost completely decentralized. And so in a completely decentralized world, it doesn't make sense to give centralized updates. So Eventually, I think we will also branch these off into app-specific updates. So we might have an exhibit update, we might have a blocks update, and so on and so forth. And we might have a less frequent protocol update because hopefully we don't have much to report on there. The protocol just chugs along and does its thing. And the applications is where the focus, where the spotlight, if you will be. All right. Okay. Let's continue. Next, our topic is exhibit. So the print on demand is in progress. It's going very well. And I'm pleased to report that I now have a date for you. So we are targeting April 4th for the go live on the print on demand feature. We'll have to take stock of it and figure out how robust the implementation is and whether we'll call it a beta or production at that point. But we'll let you know. So far, everything is on track. Everything is going really, really well, and I see no problem or no issues with that date. In fact, as you will learn later today, that is a very hard and fast date. We can change it for certain reasons. So moving on then is to stores. So we have a couple of new stores features that I want to share with you. The first one is that we now have a curated stores carousel for the spotlight. So we have a store spotlight where we have moderators highlight some of the top stores that are there. So you can at a glance go and check those out. That feature is new. The other feature we've just created is the ability for you to hide the store from public site. So the way that works is let me go ahead and log into Studio here. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong link. Studio.vitruveo. There we go. So if you go into stores now, and if you go into one of these stores, I have a store here. There's now a switch here on the side, hide in stores view. So what that does is allow you to create a store, a private URL, if you will, for a store, and it does not appear in the search here with all the other stores. So you can create a private snapshot, a curation, if you will, for maybe a patron of yours or any marketing scenario that you can think of, and you can hide it, and it's available. Everything works exactly as you would expect. It's just not visible on this public site. So those are two features that we wanted to build in there. Now, another thing that's coming, and I'm just going to give you a heads up, this might happen sooner rather than later. There is a possibility that we might be doing a small bit of name changing. So if you look up here on the main nav bar, we've got search, stacks, stores, streams, and studio. Streams is grayed out right now because it's still coming. Stores is live. What we've found though is stores is super versatile. It's more than just a store. It's the ability, for example, for an artist to create their own portfolio. It's the ability for a patron to create artworks they've collected. It's also possible to create marketing campaigns around it. And so what we are thinking of is changing the name of stores to something else and actually combining it with streams. So we have one feature in the two of them with a different name. So that might be coming. Just wanted to give you a heads up to be aware of that. Now is a good time to do it because we haven't really launched the marketing for stores, and if you're going to do a name change, this is the time to do it. So that might be coming up very soon. All right, so with that out of the way, let's go into our next topic, which is blocks updates. And so I'm gonna head off here and remove my screen share and have Mike come in and turn it over to him. So Mike, over to you.
Okay, guys. Oh, it's been a long day. It's like 10:30 in the morning over here. And I've been working on this for the past 24 hours and I haven't gone to bed yet. So it's been a long day. Now, we have a lot of exciting updates. And forgive me if there's any errors in the slides. I literally finished it, at 9 a.m. I was working on the white paper last night, working on the tokenomics. There's just a lot going into this, and it's very exciting. I'm so thrilled and excited to share with you guys what we're building here. And it all starts with one of our verticals, which is Vlox Gaming. That's going to be our gaming vertical. We're going to come out with a number of games on the blockchain. But before I do that, I need to give some context. When we first had this idea of coming out with a gaming division for Vitruveo, we initially thought that we're going to be doing blockchain games, and Nick had the awesome idea of coming out with Vortex, coming out with something similar to Sandbox or Decentraland. And when I started looking at the research and building things out, I noticed that there was a shift in the games and the real opportunity. I started doing market research on what games were popular, and obviously games have a typical video games, unless you're like a major like Call of Duty or something like that, or a Halo where you have a cult following. They typically have a 5-year shelf life, and then obviously they'll come out with expansion packs and to try to breathe life into the game. And what I realized is that we needed to make a little bit of a shift. And so that's why there's been a lot of delays with Vortex. Is we really didn't want to just release something to release something. We want it to be highly profitable. We want it to have legs. And we really do want to bring to the market something unique and compelling. So forgive us for the time delay on what we wanted to bring to the table, but it was necessary. And we really didn't want to operate without having all of the market data and do our due diligence and really offer a really, really fun, cool game. We talked to some KOLs and some gaming influencers about some of the trends that they're seeing. We did do market trends. We did look at revenues. We looked at other studio models, not just blockchain, but Web2 studio models. And we compiled all that research and tried to come up with something very, very unique. And I feel like we're headed in that direction. So I'm excited to share with you some of the things that we've been implementing. So just to start off, Vlox Gaming is a cutting-edge gaming studio dedicated to pioneering the future of interactive gaming or entertainment through mobile and Web3 hybrid blockchain gaming. The concept that we have is that we really want to get more into Web2 mobile gaming. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, they're very lucrative. A lot of the mobile games are doing upwards of 500 million, 1 billion, 2 billion in annual revenue. There's very quick adoption. They're easy to play. They can play it anywhere. They're not so heavily focused on tokenomics per se, like a lot of traditional blockchain games. They're really just based on fun games to play in your downtime. And so that's kind of the strategy that we wanted to shift to. However, because we are a crypto finance company, we wanted to have some sort of Web3 element to it. And that's kind of the direction that we're going. So let's go through a couple of topics. The first thing is a brand change. This might be exciting for some, disappointing for others, but this is something that we're heavily exploring for the game that our first game that we're developing. And I'm going to explain the reasons why we're considering that. We have the white paper release for the game that we're developing. We have the tokenomics. Are we going to come out with a Vlox token or individual gaming tokens? So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We're going to discuss Vortex and Orbit NFTs because we have a significant amount of our community that purchased Vortex and Orbit NFTs. We need to transition those into the mobile game. And so we've got some ideas on how we're going to do that while creating a very lucrative ROI for those that participated in that. And the last thing is we're going to discuss the roadmap and kind of dive into that. So let's discuss the brand adjustment. So as I mentioned, we originally came out with the name Vortex. And the idea was that it was going to be kind of a land, you were going to purchase land and kind of build on that. When we then transitioned in working with a developer to build out the concept of Vortex, through their consultation, they advised us to go with kind of like a Catan board game. And we didn't really get the wow factor that we were really looking for. It was definitely a cool concept, but it was missing just that special edge. And I just didn't see the revenues. It was going to be purely a blockchain game. And I didn't really see that the revenues could really be on par with some of the mainstream mobile games and the studio franchises that are producing games. And we really, really do want to bring huge, huge value. Um, right now, AI is the talk. AI is everywhere. And the way how fast things are going, every single thing you see it on Instagram. It's not just games, it's AI is everywhere, and so it has a lot of marketing buzz. um, there is a shift, as I mentioned, from a pure blockchain game to a mobile hybrid. So we're definitely interested in exploring that. We've had several meetings with a mainstream mobile gaming developer. They're a company. It's not just an individual developer. This is all they do is produce mobile games, but they also do produce blockchain games. So they speak our language. They kind of know what we're looking for, and they know how to bridge those two technologies together. And I really feel like they're going to be the right partner for us. And so we've had several meetings with them. We feel that the right match, and we're ready to move forward with selecting them to build out our first game. Um, the reason why we're also considering a brand adjustment is because I built a new concept based on some of the most successful games that are out there. Um, if you just Google uh, top 100 mobile games in terms of revenue, you can kind of see the type of revenue that they're going. And what I wanted to do, I've always had this motto, which is you imitate and you innovate. So you follow the pathway of an already successful model, and then you just tweak it and then put your own flavor on it. And that's kind of what we're planning on doing. The problem is that I had problems with the concept of the name Vortex on how to transition that into AI. Obviously, a vortex is, a whirlpool, a tornado. It's a centrifugal force, and I was having difficulty doing that. And I felt that AI had to be a part of the brand, just because it's very marketable at this point. It's going to stand out. Um, we may use Vortex in a future game. So we're not abandoning the name, but just for our first game, I think we're going to shift. And then, of course, we need to finalize the Vortex NFT and then Orbit conversion. And there will be a conversion that'll take place. So not only is everybody made whole, but it's lucrative. So that is going to be the goal. The white paper is done, you guys. So this was a beast. It is going to be released this weekend. The only thing I wanted to do was to refine the tokenomics a little bit. I need to talk with Nick specifically about the Vortex and the Orbit conversion. The Orbit is still going to have a component in the game. It's actually going to be a very big component in terms of the pre-sales. So we're very excited about that. So we'll be releasing it. We'll do a public announcement in Discord with the link to the Gitbook, and that way you guys can enjoy the white paper. This is going to be a V1. You can consider it as a light paper. We're calling it a white paper, but just consider it a light paper V1. There are going to be changes that we're going to make. We're really in the conceptual stage. We're basing it off foundational, successful games, and putting our own spin on it. So things like features and assets will not be in the white paper. We will discuss tokenomics. We'll discuss roadmap. We'll talk about gameplay in terms of how it's going to work. We'll talk about features and benefits. We'll talk about how things are a little bit different with this game. And we'll also talk about the industry. What sort of revenue can we expect to make as a gaming studio? Because that's why we're all here. We're here to make money. We're not here to just play around. So we're going to be talking about that in the white paper. Nick and I are going to review it. Hopefully, after this live, we'll get a little bit of rest, and then we'll dive into it, and we'll start tearing apart. And then I'll do the finishing touches on it, make the announcement, release it, and then you guys will have it in hand, which will be really exciting. Now, let's talk about a Vlox token or a gaming token. So, traditional model is for a crypto project that the game has its own token. And so I started doing market research on this and really diving into all the different gaming tokens. And then I also looked at Web 2 stocks and, looked at that type of progress and compared the two and tried to figure out, how are we going to do this? How can we bring real utility? We don't want a pump and dump. We don't want a utility just to have a utility. We want it to grow. We want it to be a very, very successful token. And so in my research, this is going to be a little convoluted here, but I wanted you to see the differences between a gaming token and a studio token or a stock. To the left, you'll see all of them. Every single gaming token I looked at looks the same chart. You have Gala here, which is a very successful game. You have Sandbox, you have Axie, you have Illuvium. These are all multi-million dollar companies, some of them even into the billion in terms of market cap. But they all do this. As soon as the game comes out, they pump, and then there's a mass sell-off. Interest, wades. People stop trading. People. There really is not tons of utility in it. They're trying to figure it out, but it's not quite there. When you look at a studio model, though, Take-Two, Activision, Electronic Arts, all of these, they're just straight up, and they stay up, and they're consistent. And so we're going to model our, the token for our gaming vertical as a utility token for the Vlox vertical, and we are most likely not going to have individual gaming tokens. There's benefits to this, and the main benefit is that you can use the tokens across all the different marketplaces within the game. So that way, if you invest, if it's a play to earn game, which of course ours is, you can basically trade assets in the marketplace, and then you can apply those assets, trade them for other gaming assets. So that way you're not losing money. You don't have to worry about massive price volatility within the gaming. Games typically, as I mentioned before, have a 5-year shelf life. So that's why you're seeing these huge pumps and dumps, is the interest is waning because new games are coming out. And it doesn't really make sense to me to offer a gaming token when that's the future of our token. And every single gaming token I pulled up looks like this. So we're going to play around with that a little bit. That's why I wanted to spend a little more time on the tokenomics, work with Nick on this, and make a decision on this, on how we're going to structure it, what the tokenomics are going to be. And I have a rough outline of what I think it should be. Also, in terms of using Nick's creativity with the Vibe, the Vitruveo income building engine, carrying a similar model for that, where we're going to give, just for our first game, a massive rev share, way more than Vibe, to the early adopters. And we're going to do most likely an IDO or initial DEX offering, or a fair launch. It most likely won't be on Pink Sale. It'll most likely be on a launch pad that specializes in game launches. So we've got some news for that. That's going to be in the white paper. I've kind of got it detailed out. So you guys be able to do some, your own due diligence and research it and see that we are on the right track in terms of kind of the direction that we're taking things. We're modeling it, all of these initial coin offerings or token offerings, off other games that have raised $10 million, $20 million, $5 million. So there's a substantial benefit to follow their pathway. so that we don't have to walk through weeds. We can just walk on firm ground. And so that's kind of the direction that we're going. So Vortex NFT migration, as I mentioned before, there will be a conversion to the Blocks token, which we talked about maybe a month or two back. So that is going to be relevant and profitable for you guys. And the orbit, we're going to factor that in to the new model that we have here. When we look at the roadmap, this is a little difficult for us to lay out because development is kind of sketchy. So the first thing that we need to do with our gaming developer that we're going into contract with is we need to build a kind of a marketing stack for the token sale and for the fundraising. So that should take about 60 days, somewhere in there. Once they've just been waiting for the white papers. So now that the white paper is done, we can kind of give them what we need. They're going to develop the artwork. They're going to refine the concept and consult with us on kind of what we're doing, give us some ideas. And then at that point, we're going to create the game concept, the tokenomics, the brand assets. We're going to release early stage gameplay screenshots. So in terms of, it's going to be pretty close. And so that's going to take some time for them to develop. And we're going to establish the website, the Discord, the socials, really get a media presence going for the initial DEX offering. And we're going to collaborate with influencers at this stage. We already have an influencer on board that has a massive corporate following. Well, they have massive gamer followers, but they also do corporate sponsorships. So they're a heavy hitter. And they just said, hey, let us know when you're ready. We'll jump on board. And they're just going to do it for equity sharing. So we don't have to, pay them anything, which is great. So that's something that's coming. And then at that point, we're going to launch the pre-sale of the Blocks token and the revenue share NFTs. The way the revenue share NFTs, aka Orbit, is going to work is you can purchase the coin at whatever the price is going to be determined at. However, if you meet certain thresholds, you get one of those NFTs. So obviously, we're going to reward people that invest more, and this is going to be very, very lucrative because it's a little bit different that we're actually going to try to pay monthly on this because it's a play to earn game, and the game is going to be paid in USD, so in real money. It'll then be converted to USDC, put in the treasury, and then at that point we can distribute it to the Orbit or NFT holders, and you can claim it as either USDC or you can claim it as a Blocks token with staking. The reason why we're considering USDC is we don't want to put sell pressure on the token. And so we're going to get a little creative in that. And Nick and I will kind of come with some solutions on that. The exciting thing about the Blocks token as well is there's going to be massive burning taking place. There's not going to be this crazy meme token supply. We're thinking it'll probably be in the 500 million to 1 billion range. It needs to be not too expensive, the coin, but we don't want it trading at 0.000001, either. We want it a really strong, healthy price. We want entry price to be affordable for everybody to come in, to grow their stack, to stake, you get rewards. We do need a substantial supply though. So it's not going to be 20 million or anything like that. It will be a little bit higher because it's a studio token. So we're going to have to cover this over many games. But at the same time, we don't want some, like I said, some hyperinflationary token that goes. So there are going to be burning mechanisms. There will be a Web3 marketplace for trading in-game assets. And there's going to be every transaction that takes place, it'll have a burn function, that a portion of that will be burned. And then doing treasury buybacks. I'm considering doing quarterly burns, very similar to what Binance does. They do quarterly burns on the coins. So we're going to do something very similar to that to curb inflation, and we're going to track the effectiveness of that, in terms of price. So that's that. Phase two, it'll most likely. So we will have. I'd like to have a mini game done by the summer. So as we're building out the main game, if you know anything about base building strategy mobile games, they're called 4X strategy base building strategy games. The overall concept is that you're building a base, you have features and assets, you're upgrading your heroes, you're upgrading your buildings, you're upgrading your resources, and it's compiled into many different little mini games. Some of the mini games are, you've seen them on TikTok, where you just kind of, you're shooting monsters or whatever. We're going to have probably 4 or 5 mini games that are going to be incorporated in the game, as well as massive global games. So, we're going to go heavy on alliances. We're going to go heavy on, for the true raw gamers that really want to build and build up their base. And there's also going to be a play to earn function. So we're going to be building that out. But figure Q4 to have an alpha ready, and that's going to be ambitious for what we're doing. So we might release a scaled down version at first, and then continue to work on it, but release the alpha to the influencers, release the alpha to obviously our community and the people that have purchased the Blocks token. Then do a feedback loop to get feedback, do some refining, then go into beta. And beta, we're looking at probably Q4, early Q5 for beta. And beta is a working model, guys. It'll have everything that we kind of need. The developers said probably 6 to 8 months for the full game build out. So if we do a scaled down version, we can have a part of their team focused on the mini games. We'll have a successful raise. We'll then take a nice little chunk and have them, because they have a massive team. They have over 200 developers within this company. So we can start building out concurrent games simultaneously and then release them. And those types of games aren't that complex. Once the artwork is done, it's just a matter of framing it out, and the concepts are very similar, between the mini games. And the mini games typically run like maybe 30 seconds, and they have different levels within these little mini games. So super, super cool. I geek out on this stuff, so it's a lot of fun. And then phase 4 will be full rollout, global launch on iOS and Android. The beta will be obviously iOS and Android, and the marketplace will probably already be built, probably by summer-ish, summer, fall, kind of right in there. The marketplace, that's all in-house, so we're going to do the development and all the websites, all the socials, all that stuff we're going to be doing. And that type of stuff will be done in the next 60 days. The marketplace itself will probably be built out shortly thereafter, in about a month or two. So we'll see Nick's workload, but I think we can get it done. And then the full rollout is, that's when we're going to start introducing seasons and seasonal content, and really expanding the marketing and acquisition strategies. But the heavy lifting on the marketing is going to be for the pre-launch. We're going to allocate a certain marketing budget for that. And then when capital comes in, we're then going to basically scale the development team within the company, the studio that we're using, and see if we can expedite everything depending upon how successful the fundraise is. So that is that. So you guys, are you guys ready? You want to see kind of a general idea of kind of what we're thinking? We are thinking AI wars. So that's kind of the concept that we're coming up with. We looked at AI Strike, AI Battlefield, AI Wars. We wanted something short and sweet. There will be animated graphics that are going to be done, videos done in terms of the marketing. So when we market on Instagram, when we market on the socials, TikToks, mobile games are heavily marketed on those platforms, and so we're going to have all the trailers, all the sample gameplay, a part of our marketing pitch, and we're going to be driving once the beta is done. I'm pretty sure we can start building that out. But that's kind of the direction we're going. We'd love your feedback. If you love it, great. Let us know. If you hate it, great. Let us know. Either way, we love your feedback. Nick and I have always taken the approach that as much feedback as we get, and let us know if we're on the right direction. That's kind of what we're hoping we can get. So tag me in Discord, discuss it amongst yourselves. Let us know what you're thinking. And but we think it's from a business standpoint, a strategic standpoint, we feel it's the right move. The branding is important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is revenue, sustainability, and overall value that it brings. You guys are going to have a lot of questions, and I want to answer as many questions as I can. Some of the questions I'll be able to answer. Many of them I will not. There's going to be questions about what about vibe contribution? Of course, there's going to be vibe contribution. That's going to be built into the tokenomics. But we're talking about a big business here, guys. We really want to build this thing out, make it strong, and really scale it into multiple games, not just one game, but we want to really build momentum. And this can bring a lot of capital to the blockchain. We're really kind of running a Web 2 business with a Web 3 foundation. So all this Web 2 money will flood into the blockchain, and then we'll disperse that and use that for liquidity. We'll use that for treasury buybacks. We'll get some noise on Vitruveo as well, because the mobile game is going to say, Vlox built on the Vitruveo blockchain. So it's going to be its own marketing. So plenty of exciting things coming up. I hope all you guys, thank you so much for your support. Again, let us know your feedback, and hit me up on Discord and let me know what you guys think.
Very cool.
All right,
very,
Nick.
very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And I think I just want to reiterate, there is the white paper to be published this weekend. Yeah?
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
great. So that's maybe what you can do, Mike, is have a flashlight specifically next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, to answer questions versus taking them all right now, because right now there would be conjecture, right? So it would give people an opportunity to read the white paper and this whole narrative, and then come and be more informed when they ask questions. So maybe we could do a flashlight.
That's right. And nothing at this point is going to be set in stone. It's really, we're putting out our feelers, we're refining it. And obviously, as a community project with Vitruveo, we want to kind of work together on this. Do some research yourselves, guys. Give us some feedback. The more brilliant minds we have working on this project, the better. There will be differences in concepts and opinions and branding and all of that, and that's okay. But I'm interested in math. I'm interested in following the path of least resistance. I want to model other successful franchises and really use their errors to our benefit. And we'll just piggyback off their success and double tap with the AI concept and scale. So that's the goal.
That's great. So we are now resurfacing Vlox. It was in sort of brewing in your mind quite a bit here, and now it's there. And I just want people to realize that we are also in parallel working very hard on FlixFund. So all these initiatives, as they get to a stage where we can share them, we will. Just because you don't hear about them on Spotlight doesn't mean nothing's being done. And in fact, that's another reason why we feel a bi-weekly spotlight would be better, because it takes time to build some of these things out. So thanks, Mike. Thanks for all your hard work, and you can go to sleep now. So
Yeah, thanks.
All right, let's continue our spotlight. We still got a lot more information, and as I just tweeted, X posted a few minutes ago. There is some incredibly great news coming up for artists right now. So if you're an artist, you definitely want to listen in the next 15 to 20 minutes. There is some very, very, very big news coming up for you. All right, let's go with community updates. My first community update is about Vitruveo Exchange, which is a community-led project. Pleased to report that they have a DEX pre-sale coming up. So have a token, ERC20 token called V3 DEX, and that can be swapped for VitDex, which is an NFT, an ERC721 token. So I believe that might occur as early as this weekend. But stay tuned for that announcement. Looking forward to seeing it. I think a lot of people have found an amazingly large amount of utility and benefit from Vitruveo Exchange. So I want to thank Didi for it, and really working so hard to support the community and making this possible. So look forward to this pre-sale and everything that's going to come along with it. So that is our first community project. And for the next community project, that is Sabong Studios. And I wonder at all if our friend Garfield might be hanging around anywhere and might make an appearance. Let's see. There he is. All right. Hey, Garfield, how are you? You're muted. Let me try and unmute you. There you go. I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. There we go.
Oh, let's start again. Hi, Nick. How you doing, brother?
Hi. How's it going?
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
It's great to have you, and I think that we might be at the point where we might have to make you an honorary co-host because you're here every week, and we love that. It's great because we're seeing so much innovation and so much activity happening with Sabong. So really great to have you. I think you're going to start off by giving us an update, and
Yes.
then we're going to talk about the big exciting news that I talked about for artists. So let's dive right into it. Do you want me to share your first slide?
Of course. Hi,
All right,
everyone.
let's go.
Thank you for having me here. And I always say, excitement's temporary, but every time you'll see me excited. But it's temporary. Commitment is permanent. And that's what I'd like for you guys to really focus on today. So, quick update on Pink Sale. You already know it ended. And I don't want you guys to think that it was a bad thing. No, I did that on purpose. Okay. I know I said to you guys when we first started, even before we launched on February 20th, it was originally at February 14, right? But we were going back and forth with Pink Sale. And long story short, we were allowed to start on the 20th. So when we started, we have our investors on the outside buying in and everything is good. And I come to realize that within 24 hours, I needed to do KYC and audit. So that's my bad, right? So I immediately called the team, activated everyone. Let's do this, pay the money, the whole 9 yards. And it turns out, and in that first 24 hours, guys, we have two groups. One is 300, the other one is 500. Okay. So when they ask for this KYC and audit, not having it, and immediately activated it within that time, but it took almost, I think, 7 or 8 days. And, I always say, I did post an announcement yesterday that things happen for a reason. Okay. So, number one, I decided to focus more on the games. That's literally what I did, because for me, talk is cheap, and I want to make sure that I give you deliverables, and Nick says all the time, MVP, right? So to me, this is a minimum viable product, something that you can already play with and work with and share with and so on and so forth. Second, I was a bit afraid of having, even if we had the KYC and the audit, I was a bit afraid. I share this with the team. I even share this with Nick. I was a bit afraid that at the end of Pink Sale, most of these major investors are just going to dump on my community of investors. You see, my job is to protect my community of investors. Soft cap we have, the 800 we don't. Okay, that's the reason why we reach out to the outside investors. So again, I repeat, things happen for a reason, and that's the reason why we made a a a hard turn. We made a hard turn because I don't want, like what Mike showed a while ago, that most of these coins or tokens that releases goes up and then whoop and then it creates an L-shaped chart. So we don't want that. My job, as I've said from the very beginning, is to make sure that I protect our community, my investors community, and definitely our blockchain, Sabong evolution as well. That's my commitment. So if you guys are feeling bad that the pink sale didn't happen, don't. As you know, I released an amazing game yesterday, and in less than 24 hours, we have hundreds already that are connected, are logged in. This is good, guys. This is good, guys. So don't worry, right? You guys paid 5 cents in pink sale. We're gonna begin our now. We're not gonna go pink sale anymore. Too many constraints, right? We're gonna focus more on massive marketing, which I've read in our community. I hear you, I see you. So we're gonna focus more on that. And Monday, I think March 17th, we will begin the first round. Okay, so this will be like a 3-4 seed rounds. But what we wanted to make sure is we have some juice, we have some substance. Now that we have a game and we have 2 more rolling out in the next, maybe the latest 5 to 7 days, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. This is now the point where we can, this motivates me whenever Nick says to me, Garfield, blockchain is done. That motivates me. Blockchain is done. Let's bring in these people from the outside. So March 17 begins 0.03. So for those of you who bought into Pink Sale, you're happy because you're buying it at a cheaper price. For those of you who bought before the Pink Sale, you're even better because you bought it at a penny. So you have nothing to worry about. And lastly, Sabong is not going out of business. I've seen some chat last night where, oh, what's gonna happen now that we didn't make it to the soft cap? Guys, come on. Please don't feel that way. We just rolled out a real game. So moving on to the next slide. This is the Sabong Studios, and as you can see, with collaboration with Nick and of course the Sabong team, we're moving along. We're moving along, and we're very excited. And that's the reason why we move on to the third slide. I only have 4 guys, so hang tight with me, okay? I'm not gonna hold you up for a long time. Upcoming games, we released Bazillions. That's released yesterday. Tug of War is coming soon. Okay, we'll pull up the website right there. I will be releasing several videos as well in the coming days to show you that this game is ready. It's ready. It's up and running. I've had some DMs last night where people are saying, hey, Garfield, this is so addicting. And then I jokingly said in Discord, calling all addicts, this is so amazing. I'm going to talk to you more about it when Nick comes back, okay? Because this is going to be good, guys. It's like a crossover of Web3 games and the multi-level marketing. We put it together. Is that good? It's like a crossover of the two, the Web3 games and the multi-level marketing. So finally, onto I think the last page is it's a very short presentation on my end, guys. Or this is it, right? Oh, I forgot. Bazillions. This is the one thing you need to pay attention, guys. 5% of Bazillions, well, I think you already know that, goes directly to Vive. Can you just imagine? I mean, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, Nick, but it excites me. It gives me chills talking about these things because I know we're not talking or it's not coming from thin air. We know that this game, Nick, is going to be amazing. Back to you, Nick.
Yeah, and the last one there is the one you my hobby game that has now become an official Sabong Studios
That's
venture.
right.
It's Tug of Tokens. So I'm very pleased to report that by Sunday we should be live with that also. So we'll have Bazillions going, and we'll have Tug of Tokens going, and uh, money from here also flows into Vibe in a big way. So this is really really exciting, and you can play this on both Vitruveo and BSC. And the last game, we didn't talk about it, but it's Cockfight. That's a Telegram game. You said, right?
That's right. Yeah, it is a Telegram game, tap to earn game that will be released by next week as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the exciting news about our collaboration. And let's go to that slide. I am very excited and very pleased
Oh
to
yeah.
report that Exhibit and Sabong Studios are collaborating on a joint art exhibition. This is huge. This is exciting, and this is going to be amazing for all the artists in our community. So let's talk about it and see what the details are first. But before we go there, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Garfield, because you've created a community project. You've helped us raise capital, but now you're going even further, and you're enabling artists all over the world to get amazing exposure on the world stage. So this is really going to make a difference to a lot of artists, and we are very grateful for you. So with that, let's go into the details. Artists, pay attention, please. All right. So we are going to do an exhibition at a very prominent gallery in Dubai. I just got the contract. I will sign it tonight, and then it'll be official, and I can name the gallery. I try not to name galleries and things like that until everything's signed off and paid for. This exhibition is going to be on April 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it is a combination exhibit, a dual exhibition, if you will, of with dual exhibition of Exhibit and Sabong. And I'm very pleased to report that it is sponsored by Sabong Studios. And we also have another co-sponsor coming up, and I will announce that co-sponsor in a couple of days once that's finalized. So this is a two-prong exhibition. First is it's going to feature artworks from my Vitruveo collection. I have over 2,000 artworks now collected from artists in our community, and we're going to feature some of those at this gallery in Dubai. And the second part of this exhibition is going to be winners of the Sabong Studios Rooster Pop Art Challenge.
All right.
This is coming up. I want all of you guys to fire up your Procreates
That's right.
and your canvases, etc., because this Rooster Pop Art Challenge is going to be simply amazing. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
let's talk about what
Let's
it's all
get it.
about.
That's right.
So let's first talk about my collection and the rules around that. Pretty simple. We're going to use that to launch our exhibit print on demand feature. Earlier, I told you that we are going live on April 4th. Well, we have no choice but to be perfectly done and ready on this date because the exhibition begins on that date, and we want to highlight our print on demand feature. So I'm going to take a curated collection of the 96 best artworks I can find from the 2,000 plus that are there, and they'll be in the gallery. Due to the gallery screens that are all vertical, unfortunately, I only can select vertical artworks, and I think a lot of them are that way. And I'll be announcing the selections by March 30th. There's nothing anyone has to do for this. Your artworks are already in my collection. I just have to spend time looking at each of them and deciding which ones are going to go. There are 12 screens, 12 huge 85-inch screens, and they are going to cycle through eight per screen. And we're going to enable print on demand QR codes. And we are also going to enable, hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, a stretch feature. We'll enable an AR activation on all of these so that when people scan, they will be able to see artist information and be able to go to the artist profile and see more of the artworks and things like that, and maybe order more print selections. So gallery visitors will be able to get these prints because they are starting off at a discounted price. And we're going to be having a few workshops here, workshops for gallery owners, workshop for artists. And we'll also have an evening where if you happen to be an artist who's selected here, or just any artist in the Vitruveo community, we'd like to invite all of you to come join us. So that the details on that will be published soon. We are getting all the final details, getting everything together on the dates and times and all that. But we would love for you to join us at this exhibition if you happen to be in Dubai during those times. All right, now let's get into the meat of it. Garfield, if you could come back here, because we're going to talk about. There you go. All right, let's talk about the Rooster Pop Art Challenge. All right. So Sabong Studios, as Garfield has noted many times, wants to grow its community while raising awareness of exhibit and ultimately helping the Vitruveo ecosystem. He makes no secret about it. Sabong Studios will grow, yes, but our main focus is to really grow the Vitruveo ecosystem, because when that grows, we all thrive, we all succeed.
That's right.
And as lead sponsor of this prestigious exhibition, Sabong wants to give artists in our community recognition on the world stage. This is not just an online thing, or it's really celebrating artists worldwide, because let's keep in mind, we are a blockchain for creators. So let's talk about the details of how this Rooster Art Pop Art Challenge is going to go out. First of all, it's open to everybody. We invite every artist to participate in this Rooster Pop Art Challenge. If you are not yet on exhibit, you have plenty of time to get on exhibit. It's very easy. And this would be the impetus for you to get on and join our challenge. So some rules here. Let's get into the details. In order to participate in this challenge, you must consign an artwork to exhibit. And in the metadata, you must use the tag Sabong Pop Art. That's how we're going to find out who the submissions, because we are not going to go, there's no form, there's nothing else. You just consign your artwork to exhibit using the standard techniques. There's nothing special you have to do other than the tag Sabong Pop Art. Your art must be static. We cannot have any animations or videos. And your artwork must be landscape. So in the previous part of the exhibition, for the artworks I select, those are on vertical screens, but these artworks are going to be displayed on landscape screen. And the other requirement is we want to enable people to print t-shirts and things with these. So we want to have you submit print media also, which means that the requirement is going to be high resolution. Just to refresh, that is 9,000 pixels by 6,000 pixels. That's what you're going to have to do this in order to be able to upload print media, because our print media requirements are pretty high. You can go into Exhibit Studio and find all this out. It's pretty straightforward. It's explained to you, and it's very easy. The deadline for artwork submission is March 26th at midnight UTC, which is March 25th, 4 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. That's the time, the cutoff time. No excuses, no delays, no exceptions. That's the final time. I want to reiterate, there will not be any exceptions. It does not matter if your iPad battery died or something else happened. This is the cutoff time. What we are going to do is we are going to use that special tag to create an exhibit store where your artworks will be displayed. So as I was saying earlier, store is very versatile and allows us to do many interesting marketing things. And this is one use case where your submissions will be automatically displayed in the Sabong Studios exhibit store. And the judging of these artworks will be done by the Sabong Studios team. Excuse me one moment. I need to clear my throat. Okay. All right. Garfield, I know that you're particularly excited about judging these artworks. We haven't mentioned exactly what they're going to be yet, but I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to have some fun.
Well, I grew up, my mom always told me, don't judge, but now I'm happy to be a judge.
Yeah. All right. What other requirements? Let's go through them. The content. Now, for this challenge, artists, you must draw an iconic movie scene from a popular Hollywood movie, except you must replace the head of the central figure, the protagonist, with Sabo, the Sabong robot rooster. Just the head, just the face. So maybe you're doing a scene from John Wick or something. You gotta replace Keanu Reeves' head with Sabo.
That's
We are
right.
looking we are looking for bold and vibrant colors and instantly recognizable Hollywood movie scenes. Okay, don't make the audience think. Don't put some obscure movie that only you have seen. That is not gonna pass the judges. Uh,
Criteria.
yeah. So if you want to win, make sure you pick an iconic movie scene that people look at it and they go, "Oh, yep, I know that one." Now, no AI. Artists must certify that zero AI was used in creating the artwork. Zero means zero. You don't use AI for any aspect of the artwork before, during, after. This is a challenge for humans. No AI involved. Okay. If your artwork wins, all the standard licensing terms that we have in exhibit apply. But I want to call out that one specific item is you will need to sign an agreement to give Sabong Studios permission to use your artwork on social media. The intent here is to promote exhibit, to promote Sabong Studios, and that's what this challenge is for. And we need your permission to use it. We don't intend to sell it or make money from it or any such thing. We just want to post it on TikTok or on Twitter or Instagram, etc. And we'll give you credit to you, of course. You are the artist. We don't
Or
we don't
or my
need,
banner. Yeah, or
yeah,
just my background.
put it on the banner there also, etc. So we just need your permission to share your artwork on social media. All right. So what do we need you to do? Your artwork must have the main character replaced with Sabo's head, as I said. And here is the Sabo character. You can download it at sabo.to/sabo. Uh, you are free to take this artwork and enhance, modify it, redraw it, Sabo in your style. We are really looking for this Sabo-esque character to be in your artwork. So remember, iconic Hollywood movie scene. Pick some scene that's like maybe it's Scarface or whatever. Back to the Future. Die Hard is, I think, Garfield, one of both our favorites.
I do
You
my
know,
friend.
yeah, yeah, and put put the Sabo's face on there and Sabo's head rather, and change the expressions, do whatever you want. But we've given you this as reference. If you want, you can use it as is. If you want, you can enhance it and do it in your own style. So obviously the question is, you're gonna be in an exhibition, but is that it? Is that the only prize, or are you gonna win something else? Well, let's see here. So there are many more prizes. So first of all, let's talk about what's going to happen. 10 of these winning artworks will be featured prominently on a very large display in the
Wow.
gallery that in Dubai, a 17-foot by 10-foot. Imagine your artwork right up there at that size. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. Uh, a curated selection of submitted artworks will also be featured on the Sabong Studios website and on social media. So beyond the 10, we will also choose some more. We'll also feature the winning artworks here on our spotlight. You're gonna see them. We're gonna talk about them, and we're gonna invite the artists to come on here and talk about their art. In addition, these winning artists will each receive 200 USDC and 10,000 Savo tokens each. That is a big price. In addition, we reserve the right to actually buy your artwork on exhibit also. It'll be in the store, it'll be in the gallery, so we'll hit click and buy on it. but that's an optional thing we might do. But you're guaranteed to receive, if you're one of the 10 winners, you're going to receive this prize. So these are such incredibly exciting things. So let's talk a little bit now about where you can get this information, because you obviously may not have had a chance to write it all down, etc. You can go to savo.to/challenge and get a PDF of this entire contest, this entire challenge deck that's there. And what we'll do is, you may have some questions. We are going to have a flashlight later this week or about this challenge specifically. We'll probably call it a flashlight, but we'll end up doing it as a Twitter space, because I know more artists are going to hang out on X, and I know there's a space coming up on Sunday where Garfield and I will also be there, thanks to Mystique. So we'll also take that opportunity to answer questions, if you will, about this challenge. It's really exciting, and of course we'll answer some questions here also. But Garfield, once again, thank you. This is amazing. It's a great activation for Exhibit, for our print on demand feature, and to enable artists in the community to win so many prizes. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's no, this will be amazing. March is already busy, and first week of April we're gonna get even busier. So this is good. No, you're welcome. No need to thank, because it goes both ways. You know what I mean? And that's just how I see it.
All right, that's great. So I think that was we wanted to end this spotlight on this high note here, and I think that was it. That's the last slide. You can get the entire deck here. Let me go ahead and enable permissions for it so everyone can get to it, and that's done. So yeah, you can go to it now and get it. And I'm gonna after this revert back to the Sabog Studios challenge slide, so we can answer some questions about it now. All right, so let's go ahead and take some questions, and let's see, we got a few star ones. Mike is back. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Garfield, did you want to tackle just the questions that are starred, or do you want specific to Garfield?
I think I don't see too many actually. I think once the artists get into it, there'll probably be some questions. There's always questions about, can I do multiple entries, blah blah blah, etc. We are happy to answer all those questions.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, we've only got a couple of questions, guys. I guess that's a good thing. But me asks, is there going to be in several languages? I'm assuming that this was for the game. Yes, it will. All the mobile games have multi-language support, and so yeah, that's definitely going to be incorporated. Slumdog asks, did you ever any plans with Wavern Studios and their game Cosmic Force? Yeah, I've been trying to reach out to them. I've sent them a couple of messages, and I don't know if they're just tied up or they're not getting my messages. But if anybody has a contact with them, feel free to send me a DM, direct message, and I'll be able to follow up with them. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in talking with them to see where they're at with their project, because I saw the live gameplay, or at least the alpha, and it looked pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I need to go to bed. I need to eat first. I'm starving. Let's see. Do you see any others, Nick?
I see a bunch of things about AI, but guys, we just made a decision not to allow that, and that's that. So it's not a requirement for people to participate in the challenge. So if you really need to use AI, this challenge is not for you. There are many other challenges available, but this one is not for you.
Yep. Yeah, I don't see any others, Nick, unless you see any.
I'm sure we'll see more on Sunday during the space. Okay, great. If anyone has any questions, could we have rooster art in layers?
I I think it was probably created with AI,
around
wasn't it?
this rooster art. No, it's intended to be directional for you. Unfortunately, no, it's composite, and uh, you're free to recreate it in layers if you'd like to. That would be something you can do, but it's not a requirement that you use that exact same thing. You're free to create your own. The important thing is we are talking about a robotic rooster. Let's see. Can we do multiple submissions? I see that question here. You can do as many submissions as you want. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Ultimately, it'll be for the judges to decide which ones. We're looking for iconic movies. Uh, let's see. Yeah. I believe
Already asked how much will orbit cost. We're working out that detail. It's all going to be tied to the fundraise that we're doing. Whenever we do the initial DEX offering. And the way the initial DEX offering is going to work, guys, is we're going to do multiple initial DEX offerings. So it's not just going to be one bang, we're going to shoot for 10 million or whatever. There's going to be several initial DEX offerings, and we may do them on multiple platforms. So we're still building that out. But we should have the cost released fairly soon for the orbit whenever that comes up. Aris, nice to see you. Are we having Blocks Game Mobile? Try it out 5 minutes before consumers pay. I'm not sure what you're asking, Aris. If you could rephrase that, I'd be happy to. But I do know that the community and the influencers will have access to the alpha version, especially with obviously the what do you call it, the alpha game. Everybody's going to be able to play the game before it gets released.
Biz asks for, I presume, on someone, would using Photoshop be considered AI? Look,
No.
there are many tools in Photoshop that don't use AI, and it's very easy to opt out of using AI. So I don't think it's a concern. So no, you can use Photoshop as much as you want. Don't just deliberately use AI. At the end of the day, we're going to ask you to certify and say that you didn't use AI. If you did not deliberately go and use a generative fill or something like that, then you can safely say that, yes, I used Photoshop and I did not use AI. I mean, you don't have to say you use Photoshop, but you can safely say, I did not use AI. So that's it.
Mike, Nick, if I may, can I answer Bugs Life
Yeah.
question real quick, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugs Life, please do.
Yeah. Yeah. He said, is there a specific time when marketing will start? I see this question more often than not, but I think I'm really excited to share with you that the game Sabong Evolution released yesterday is really a tool to begin marketing for free. Why? Because number one, this game is free. Number two, you don't need to spend for you to recruit anyone. And number three, you're getting 20% commission on the first level, 10 on the second, and 5% on the third. This is the best way you can market, guys, so that we can bring people into our blockchain, into our community. I just wanted to share that with everyone here.
Yeah. Ready Freddy says pencils, crayons, and paint only. If those are the tools you can use, then go ahead. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So on a side note, Nick, I think we're going to target the 28th for the next spotlight. If I'm not mistaken, that'll be Friday the 28th.
Is that the third Friday of the month?
That's let's see. That's the 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth Friday. So we're going to do the.
Yeah, I think in March we may have to adjust a little bit, before we catch up with the regular schedule.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll publish the schedule in advance, and we'll just mark it out and publish it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Me says, can it be a GIF? Yeah, as long as it's not animated, yes, it can. The requirement is static. So yeah. let's see. I think that's it. So lots of prizes waiting to be won, and some very exciting opportunities. So what here's what should be our art price range for consign? Doesn't really matter, because this challenge is not about selling your artwork. It is about creating an excellent artwork which the judges feel represents a high enough has high enough artistic merit for it to represent in this gallery. So the price is not relevant. I think that's
I think that's it.
Can I order something in print and demand to see how well is delivery to my location? Yes, yeah, you can go to gelato.com and just order something. And I already did that, actually, and it was amazing. It was really, the package arrived on time, and the quality was excellent. And Doc also did some tests. He ordered some canvas prints, some aluminum prints, etc., and they were great. Any news on when hatchlings will be revealed? So
Yeah,
we just got, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, just give us. We're almost there, actually. So I don't want to give any specific day, but it's in the coming days, guys. We're almost there, and you'll be excited to see these hatchlings. So a lot of moving parts in the back here, but rest assured, it's gonna roll out sooner rather than later.
Yep. All right. I think that is it for today. Thanks, everyone. There's a lot of information we shared today. Lots of new things going on. There's going to be a lot of activations this weekend also. So stay tuned for that. And you can check out the deck here at the link. And with that, we are going to tune out here. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you again. And have a great weekend again, Mike and Garfield. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was great seeing everybody. We'll see you guys in Discord, and thanks again for joining us today. We'll see you guys soon. Okay, take care.